If you want to be at peace and in control, even if someone pushes your buttons, and you've tried everything in psychology, spirituality, self-help, and you know better and you get it intellectually, but still you don't actualize it, then this is what's been missing. You need to see for yourself how the mind works and how thoughts and feelings play into unconsciousness. Here's a few of the mistakes clients who are in pain say to me. I shouldn't have had a bad thought. If I have bad thoughts, it means I'm unconscious. I shouldn't feel bad. If I do, it's my ego. I can't stop thinking. I'll show you how all of these are false and not what the solution is. There's a difference between having a thought and thinking. You need to be able to consciously use the mind, to pick it up when you need to, and put it back down when you're done. That's using thought. Thoughts that arise sort of in the background are passive and harmless. If a thought arises, you don't have to engage it. And the less you do, the less you will feel it, and the faster it will fade away. The more you do engage it, the more you involve yourself with the mind, the more pain you will feel. And therefore, the more you will believe the mind, and the longer it will last. And the more you will believe it, therefore. When you have an uninvited thought that you don't want, or when you have the thought that you shouldn't have a thought, well, that's when anxiety can start to arise, when the mind starts spinning on itself. It looks like a vicious catch-22 circle, but it's not. There is a way out. Where to start? Well, I'll give you 6 pointers. Number 1, you should have thoughts to communicate and for other practical purposes. And you're capable of all kinds of thoughts, good and bad. That is the nature of mind. It is one thing. It's not two. And what it displays includes both possibilities of what you call good or bad. Otherwise, there'd be no intelligence. Someone could cut you, and you'd think, that's good. You see, the mind is unlimited. It doesn't have to conform to reality. It is pure creativity. And you need all possible thoughts because they're all useful in their appropriate time and place. And number 2, you sense and feel and experience thoughts. The thought and feeling arises together. So it's one, and I call them thought feelings. Thoughts mostly begin as passive, unless you've worked the body-mind into a frothy, wildly running rage. The degree to which you will work a passive thought into a bad or terrible experience depends on the degree of unconsciousness. And the degree of unconsciousness depends upon the use or misuse of the 5 powers you possess. The third point is that conscious awakening is what you need and want to both end the inner pain and anger or hurt and the outer bad behavior which springs from it. Awake, you don't have to argue with others. You can ask intelligent questions that guide the conversation in the direction you want it to go. Fourth point is that the first thing to do is to recognize the difference between what you are hearing outside of you, actually in the room, we could say, and what you are hearing in the mind. As we say in our reality lover community, do the reality check. Notice the difference. You'll also notice how these thoughts feel and which you prefer. The fifth point is that it's not that you should never feel bad. A bad thought feels bad, as it should. I can also still feel bad thoughts. Everyone does. And that's because bad thoughts hurt. If they didn't, they wouldn't be bad thoughts. Just a day ago, in a spiritual group, someone who doesn't know me was saying nasty, slanderous, and false things about me. Reading those things did not feel good. But that was a temporary, mild experience that came and went while I was reading it. It came and went much like water off a duck's back. Nothing sticks. Why? A number of things. I know they were dreaming. They had to be, because none of it was real. So I don't take it to heart. I don't dream the mind myself. That would be to continue to feel the thoughts in the mind, not in reality. I don't dwell on what has already gone and done and not happening. It can only arise in the mind now. I did take action. I did get admin to remove the false slander so that others don't suffer it. I was open beyond the mind for that intelligence to arise. Because if my interest and attention were contracted on that person and what they did, I wouldn't have thought of perhaps requesting that removal of the comment. Also, I don't go into unconscious thinking suffering. In another example, when I took suicide intervention training, I was role-playing, and I was saying terrible things. And even though they were completely false, because I was ecstatically happy at the time, I began to feel them. And then, after a day of that, I had the worst headache of my life for 3 days. So your body is listening and feeling what you're thinking. You see, there's things that you do to make the feeling bigger and worse than what it originally came with, the thought, and that you can stop doing it. Pain you feel is your guidance system. It's like a hot stove. It's trying to tell you to stop doing that. Take your hand off. Don't touch. It's trying to help you wake up and stop streaming the mind. Because this is something you do. It's not something happening to you. If you heed the pain and you stop doing that, then the pain will stop. If you don't, it will continue to grow. Ultimately, no matter what anyone else does, you can come to realize that you're never actually arguing with others, but with your mind. You're never actually experiencing others, but experiencing your mind. And it's not real. That's why it's called dreaming. And the sixth point is, to put an end to this, you must realize that the content or story of thought is not your problem. Unconsciousness is. And the solution is to get real. This summer, I heard people who've been at this spiritual work for decades speak unconsciously, who thought they were conscious while doing it. They thought they were reporting a fact, when in fact, they were narrating a dream. And that was causing the very experience and problem and feeling that they didn't want to have. So I decided for them that this was enough. Enough was enough. No more. I am here to help. And I must address this. I must help with this because until this stops, this unconsciousness stops, nothing real can be heard and the truth can't penetrate. So I became committed to that because I knew that together we can find a way to help them put an end to this for themselves and all of humanity. So I made a group and gave them short and simple practice experiments to do at home. And together, what came out of that was powerful. We co-created a method that gave groundbreaking insight into unconsciousness for them individually. So if psychology, spirituality, and self-help haven't stopped your buttons from being pushed, it's due to focusing on the content of thought rather than waking up from the mind altogether. Our society is obsessed with content of the mind, like having a poor self-image, judging others in the world, whether you're having good or bad thoughts, not putting meaning on things, not having attachments, and even accepting what is. This is all content of mind. And so you try with this content. You try and you fail. Why? Again, All of those are playing on the level of the content, the story in the mind, and not on the level of the mind itself. All of those efforts are still unconsciously dreaming the content of thoughts as if they're real. It's futile to work on the level of the content of thought. It's like, watching a movie that you don't like and trying to change the characters and what they're doing and saying. Just stop playing the movie. Stop the dreaming. Stop unconsciously driving the mind. You are in the driver's seat. You are driving the mind, even though you don't know it. And most people are either asleep at the wheel or drunk on the mind. If you want to take conscious control of the brakes, the gas pedals, and the very complex and sophisticated steering mechanism, you can get conscious awakening training in our community of people who value the real over the imaginary mind. People who love the peace and joy that getting real gives them. The trainings in the Reality Lover membership get results that last. Because you can get real life exercises that give you insight into the mind, so that you can both reshape what it gives you and your experience of it. The membership is an environment that creates opportunity for real breakthrough. For a few days, I'm going to open the membership up and you can join. If you want to learn more, click the button below. You can email me from that page if you have any questions. When we close the doors, I'm going to jump in with our driver's seat of the mind conscious awakening training so that you can become conscious for good. For your good, your friends and family, and the good of all humanity, once and for all.